Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
At St. Francis Heart Center, we're not just regional heart experts. We share our greater success with the world. We don't just pioneer technology. We do it more than anywhere on Greater Long Island. And we don't just win awards. We deliver greater outcomes for people like you. As New York's only specialty designated cardiac center, we're not satisfied with just being good. This is Long Island. This is St. Francis Heart Center. And greater lives here.
From Gold Star Stadium here at Chaminade High School, the Varsity Media Sports Network presents the 16th annual Regs Rock Lacrosse Day for Heroes, where it is Manhasset taking on Chaminade. Today's Regs Rock Lacrosse Day for Heroes game is sponsored by the following organizations. We want to thank Catholic Health, Chief Graphics, as well as J&R Custom Landscaping. Well, a pleasant good afternoon, everyone. Dylan Butler alongside Brian Soper. And Soap, this is one of those days that it is more than lacrosse. It is about remembering the life of Sergeant Jimmy Regan, who was a Manhasset resident, who played his lacrosse at Chaminade, wore number 19 at Chaminade, went on to Duke. After 9/11, was called to action, right, to defend our freedoms, ultimately paid that ultimate price with his life, with the Army Rangers. But every year, since we remember him, we honor him, and we play the sport that he loved with his community and his high school.
Like you said, it's more than a game. The lacrosse and service just go together. Right, in 2 weeks we'll have Memorial Day for Division 1, 2, and 3, and it just feels right. It's a beautiful day here at Gold Star Stadium, dedicated in September of 2014 for those Chaminade grads who lost their lives. Just an unbelievable day here, and it makes you really, really appreciate what you have and what this great game of lacrosse can do in recognizing those that came before us. And you see two teams together playing for a higher purpose.
And this is a game that we're covering, but it truly is an entire day's festivities, right? We had the JVB, the JVA boys playing before this game. We're going to have the PAL from Manhasset on the field. It is a festive day. It is a beautiful day for lacrosse, and really no better day to remember the life of Jimmy Regan. You take a look there. It's Chaminade and Manhasset. Manhasset is a team, when we switch the conversation now to this year's lacrosse, right? They've got those big games on their schedule every year, right? Cromwell has no choice, right? You've got to play Darien, you've got to play Garden City, you've got to play Chaminade. And these are games that this year his team has come up short. But it is also a game that is coming just before the start of the postseason, which could be a help, win or lose today.
happened last year, right? This game, going into it, you were like, perhaps Chaminade a little bit too much depth this year for them, but they played tough, they scrapped, right, and got to Hofstra, and a 6-5 win against Garden City in the semis. Coach Cromwell thinks that gritty toughness that they took from that game really helped them.
And here's a look at the last 12 meetings. As we said, 10-5 Chaminade overall. Flyers have been on a streak here, right? Since 2018, they've won all 5 of the last meetings. You have to go back to 2017 when Manhasset got their last win, 8-7 in this annual matchup.
Yeah, 2017, Steve Schneider with 31 seconds left for Manhasset won it, went on to play at UNC in Michigan. That's the thing great about these programs. They play in high school, and a lot of them go on to play in college.
Number 18, Colin Kelly.
So Manhasset, they are a team 9-4 on the season. They had that bounce back win against Calhoun after the Garden City game, and now an opportunity to play Chaminade. 2 guys they're going to rely on here today. We'll bring in those players to watch for Manhasset. They call him Doc, and he's going to operate a little bit on the offensive side for Manhasset. Daniel O'Connor and Colin Kelly. He's gotten a lot of big responsibilities, a lot of big jobs defensively this year, maybe none bigger than what is tasked to do today.
Yeah, Doc O'Connor going to play for Jake Bernhardt in the NESCAC at Colby. He was the best player for Manhasset in the Woodstick against Garden City. 3 goals, two-handed player, 12 goals and 14 on the year. Colin Kelly kind of fulfilling that potential, 6'1" athlete, drawing some top assignments. Bauer, looks like he'll play Gillis today, drawing some big-time matchups. That means big-time looks when it comes to the recruiting trail.
So those are the players to watch for Manhasset. When we talk about Chaminade, these guys on an absolute tear right now, right? They lose on March 16th, right? They've not lost since. And 2 guys are relying on today. Listen, usually Quinn Ball gets his own focus as the face-off guy, but he's wearing Jimmy Regan's 19, so he's the guy we talk about today.
Yeah, you ain't seen nothing like the mighty Quinn, 84%. 4-year varsity, the only time that's happened in Chaminade history. His brother James also wore 19. 42 out of 44 kids picked him to wear 19. What a statement. And Gavin Fitzpatrick, the senior from Carl Place, lefty going to Johns Hopkins, physical, rangy, smart, was the best player that broke the streak against St. Anthony's in that 3rd quarter. He was awesome.
And there is a look at him right there. What a season he is having at the Face-Off X. Maybe none better in the country, right? There's a lot of good ones. Aiden Diaz-Matos out of Brunswick's really good. Cascadin, of course, at Garden City is really good, but Quinn Ball on a different level, a true representation of that number 19. Let's take a look at the starters real quick if we can for Manhasset. A little bit of a change there as well, right, where it's Petroselli out. He was in back for Garden City. Now it's Phil Palumbo filling in those shoes. It's your usual first midfield of O'Connor, Sheeran, Leader, Lachlan Fitzpatrick at LSM, Salura, Kelly, and Dave Pietro. And great to see him back in the cage. A week ago, we saw Henry Griffith return for Manhasset in the goal, and he played really well after that first quarter and was solid against Garden City. He's going to need to be solid again in the cage today.
Yeah, going to Franklin and Marshall, came back and had a great 9 saves in the Woodstick. They needed all 10 saves against Calhoun, as Calhoun got off to a very good start against them. Manhasset's known for their goaltending, right? Murtha, Kazalakis, right? Griffith is filling those shoes this year in his senior year.
And the head coach for Manhasset walking out towards midfield. And that's very nice. Picked up a pylon when he was on his way there as he meets the coaching staff of Chaminade. It is Keith Cromwell, 9th season as Manhasset head coach, 1997 grad of Hicksville High School. How about a 116-29 overall record? So let's take a look at the starters now for Chaminade as we are getting set here for the start. When you are rolling the way the Flyers are rolling, why change things, right? So really an unchanged starting lineup, Balsamo, Gillis, and Cutton. An incredible threesome, an attack back from last year. Lynch, pure shooter. Connolly, Voorhees. At LSM, Duran, Fitzpatrick, D'Agostino, Gerbasi. And wearing number 44, Kieran Walsh in the cage for Chaminade, bound for Notre Dame. Was huge, instrumental in their biggest win of the year. Kieran Walsh, there you see his save percentage on the year. And at the face-off X, as we are getting set to start here, we mentioned before, right, Quinn Ball, of course. It is Bo Dillmeyer, right? What a opportunity for Bo as a freshman to take on Quinn Ball. We expect to see some Mikey Bechtel, maybe even a little bit of Lachlan Fitzpatrick as well with the long pole. And away we go. Ball wins face-off number 1. And the 16th annual Reeves Rock Lacrosse Day for Heroes here is underway.
So we see Kelly, he's drawing the Gillis matchup.
The long stick committee is Eric Solera from Manhasset. Short stick, number 22.
Good job by Dave Pietro. He's all over the ball, bringing the energy.
And there's Balsamo. Hands it off to Lynch. Lynch back to Balsamo, low shot! And the goal. Balsamo puts the Flyers on the scoreboard.
It was 5-on-5 for a second as ball was changing. Nice little two-man game here between Lynch and Balsamo. Lynch known for his scoring. Little roll back, feeds with the left hand. Balsamo catch it, finish it low. Great start by the Flyers. Off to a flying start.
For Balsamo, goal number 33 on the season. How balanced is he, huh? 32 and 32 heading into this one, the Virginia commit.
18th assist for Lynch. Add that to his 35 goals. Scary, scary offensive pieces for
Look at Dillmeyer. Wins face-off number 2, but can they get the possession? They will.
Cold call on Chaminade.
Think about what it must be for Dillmeyer, right, going forward. A week ago, had a battle Cascadin, now battling Ball. You know, if iron sharpens iron, right, he is going to be really good for these next coming years.
Such valuable experience, facing the best, and that's what you want. You want to get and see the best you can. Here's
Tommy Leader. Tried to pass. Ball got deflected, and the Flyers come away. Nice swim by Ben Bekiers. And the defensive midfielder starts the transition. A little BTB by Balsamo. And now they'll start 6-on-6.
Smart move by Cutton. He's kind of that he's straw that stirs the drink. Smart decision to pull it out, get your 6 on. Bekiers is really, really good D-Midi. Going to BU.
This is a great game as Balsamo, little hidden ball.
Balsamo brings out the BTB, now a hidden ball trick. Everything but the kitchen sink to start for Chaminade.
We mentioned about why this is a good one. Good ride as it'll be Chaminade's get ball back. We mentioned why this is a good one for Manhasset. Same is true for Chaminade, right? Their biggest game coming in 5 days' time. Great BTB look. That was Lynch. But they're playing for a championship, right, against their rivals in St. Anthony's. You want to play a meaningful game coming into that, and that's exactly what this is. Another save by Griffith.
Yeah, Griff, get a toe on it, my friend. Kick save and a beaut. 3 for $1 in this possession. Scary offense. Going to be under fire all day.
Balsamo up top.
It's like a zone look.
Trying to be a zone buster there. Shot by Cooper Mendelson.
Good job, Eric Solora, Stony Brook commit. Rangy. You got to get your hands on these shooters. You can't let them just fire.
And what did Cromie tell us, too, right, coming into this game? Just play free. Have fun out there.
Yeah, listen, they're a huge underdog today. This Chaminade team might be the best version of Flyer lacrosse we've seen in many, many years.
Balsamo gets to his left, and Griffith again.
15's feeling it.
4th save of this first quarter.
That's what's great. That's what's great about this game. You got guys shooting. Virginia commits, Duke commits. The Franklin and Marshall commit says, not today, my friends. Glad to have him back with your Coach Cromwell.
You want to talk about shooters. There's maybe none better than Lynch. And there he goes on cue. Gavin Lynch buries goal number 36.
Yeah, Coach Corrigan, Chaminade alum, Coach Wellner, they're getting an absolute offensive machine at the midfield with Gavin Lynch. Look at him tuck his stick, so subtle. Solora goes for the stick check. He tucks it, buries the ball. 1 goal, 1 assist for him already. 36 goals, matches his total from last year. Lynch is one of my favorite middies to watch in the entire country.
And now Mikey Beschel in to face off against Ball. Beschel, the sophomore, 52% on the year, and Ball wins that one.
Let's watch the subbing game. Let's see if Ball stays, keeps Beschel out there. Last time they subbed late, got a 5-on-5 look that created space for their 2-man game. Let's see how they play the sub game.
Yeah, Ball right now, kind of the high crease, so that appears to be what the Flyers will do again.
Good sub, right? Keeps Beschel on the field.
And now he's off, and that allows Gillis to come out of the box. Swims to his left. Gillis! The hammer!
James Gillis.
There's no hotter player right now, maybe in the country, but definitely on the Chaminade roster than James Gillis, the Duke commit. 6'2", 165, sniper. Comes out of the box with a head of steam, downhill. Little roll, swim, let it fly. Five goals versus St. Anthony's, followed up with 6 versus Del Barton. He liked that Pedicano, Duke on Duke. Kid's red hot. Gillis.
39th of the year for James Gillis. And Ball, a 3rd face-off win.
You got to find some way to slow him down.
Balsamo gets topside, and that shot is wide.
You know, Griffith's made some saves, but he's deflected them. He's gotten pieces of them, and it stayed white. You got to somehow make some stops or get some GBs and get out of your end if you're Manhasset.
Little hop and a skip for Balsamo. Question mark, and that is wide.
Yeah, you might want to get another yard higher, increase your angle. Not so easy when you got DePietro on you.
Looking like Pinnell there.
Looks like they slipped into a zone.
Low to high. Griffith got a piece. So did the bar
Ruh-roh.
on that Gillis blast.
As a former goalie, number 3 in white, you do not want to see hands free with a step down.
Brendan Sim, part of...
Now they're shutting Gillis, so Colin Kelly is now shutting him with the long pole. Coach Cromie said enough of that.
And there's lefty shot.
Got to get it. Got to get it. Another save by Griffith. Good.
That was Cutton with the shot.
Yeah, Griffith used his face mask to eat that one.
Kind of like Henrik Lundqvist there. And now Manhasset will call timeout. They've not had possession, so they're going to talk it over here.
Yeah, they got the push. They got Melkonian with the ball, legged it over, used the timeout.
Can I give this one to the camera guys on the top?
We'll take a look at the keys to this game. We didn't get a chance to speak about it before the start of this one.
Big performance by Henry Griffith.
Check mark.
Everyone knew it. He needs to make 20, 25 today. Effectively combat Quinn Ball, right? 1 win by Dillmeyer so far, but you know that's a tough all-day matchup. Be sharp in 6-on-6. Let's see it. We haven't seen it yet, right? Hopefully they can find and grind out some possessions. Chaminade win face-offs, right? Share the ball, shoot the ball well, win D matchups that start transition. Chaminade's had this one game at a time approach, right? Not looking ahead. It's been really effective for this team. Especially after their trip out to Notre Dame. 1 game at a time, 1 possession at a time is how Coach Moran's been handling it.
J&R Custom Landscaping. You could design, build, and maintain your dream home. J&R Custom Landscaping has been proudly offering landscape design for over 30 years. Give them a call today. Beautiful day here at Chaminade High School, and we met the Keith Cromwell before. And there's Jack Moran, 45th season at the helm, a 1970 graduate of Division High School. You thought Cromie's wins and losses was impressive. How about 633 wins for Jack Moran and just 159 losses?
Absolute Hall of Famer on and off the field. Cares so much for his program, cares so much about his kids, all the kids that played for him. Family man.
And he said, right, he makes sure, spoke so highly, of course, of Jimmy Regan and what he meant, not just to his team and his program, but, lacrosse coaches, they always follow their players in whatever they do in their career, and was so proud of what he did even post-lacrosse. Low shot and the goal. Leader with the finish as the flag was thrown.
Great possession by Manhasset. They flip the field on Chaminade. They get Leader going downhill. Exactly what Manhasset needed. Runs through a stick check. Good job here, right? Reverse the field. Get it from one side. Use the pick. Swing the rock. Dodge downhill with a clear through. Great job. Goes for the crowbar. Doesn't work. Unbelievable job. That was Brody Shapiro going for the crowbar. Good job by Leader running through the check.
So after a timeout, Leader gets goal number 18. A big response for Manhasset, as this time it's a scrap with the wings, which for Manhasset, right, gives you a good opportunity. And it's Dillmeyer nearly coming away. It's still loose. And Manhasset has possession with Connor Sheeran.
Nice tough ground ball by Sheeran. Good job by Dillmeyer scrapping it out. You had guys like D'Agostino swinging the lumber, and Blue comes out with a GB.
So now Leader, he'll play catch with Doc. And expect some patience here from Manhasset. Or maybe not. Leader! Walsh the save.
Good take by Leader. A little S dodge. 6'4". Walsh stood on the pipe. Nice save.
That one blocked in front. And possession for Chaminade.
Yeah, nice job by Lachlan Fitzpatrick.
When we spoke to Moran, right, it's, again, the biggest game of the season, right, is approaching for Chaminade. But there's no concern, for multiple reasons, to look past this game. One, of course, it's Riggs Rock, right, and the meaning behind that one. Step down shot, that one wide of the mark by Connolly. But also, the evidence was early in the season, right? You got a big win in game number 1 over McDonough. Maybe you're feeling yourself a little bit. Then you lose to Loyola Blakefield. Not to say anything bad about those guys, but proof that you got to take every game as they come. Griffith, another save.
Little shoulder save. Got to get it out. Good luck. Good find by Solora.
And here comes Manhasset the other way.
Probably their all-around best player this year, Dylan Shear. Been a wonder in the offensive end, defensive end, the clearing game. A little bit nicked up, but he gave it a go today. Today's about sacrifice and commitment. Shear's out there.
Look out from behind.
It's Gavin Duran.
Hunting.
It's Henry Ledbetter, 43.
43, Henry Ledbetter.
Good athlete, real fast.
Two-way guy for this Manhasset team. As now it's Leader. Going against Gillis. Leader cuts inside, and Walsh comes up with the save high.
I'll have whatever Leader's having for breakfast today. He's been real good. Walsh has had to make 2 really tough saves on the doorstep.
Palumbo, the GB, off the failed clearance. Here comes Connor Sheeran.
Yeah, as it's not hard enough to beat the Chaminade defense, you got to beat 6'4" junior Kieran Walsh. 16 saves against Del Barton, the game-winning save to break the streak against St. Anthony's. One of the best in the country.
And here's Danny Colin. Wears that special 32 for Johnny Driscoll. And as we said in our conversation a little bit with Cromwell, right, if he was one of those guys from Manhasset playing at Chaminade, he might be wearing 19 today.
For sure. So you see Gillis. Coach Moran said, we have no problem with Gillis playing midfield. Might even project as a midfielder at Duke. So you see him on defense. You'll see him in the clearing game. You see them subbing him through the box. Solora, he's been pumped up. I know didn't have his greatest game against Garden City. I think the staff of Manhasset wound him up a little bit. And the Stony Brook commit Solora is fired up today.
And then an errant pass. And the Manhasset bench getting juiced.
Just got to hang around, right? If you're Manhasset, press ride by Chaminade.
You see Griffith kind of being a traffic cop, right? Flag is thrown. So Manhasset have a free possession. And you get the feeling, so Manhasset fully embracing that underdog mentality today. They love it.
Had a really good week of practice. Had some really good film sessions.
And there's Leader again. Slide comes his way. Ball on the carpet. It is picked up, and we'll have our first man up opportunity now. It'll be a 1-minute slash.
It's a good check, Ryan Battaglia. Junior.
1 minute for slashing.
Committed to Sacred Heart.
Number 10, Gavin Lynch, coming with 1:33.
So Lynch in for a minute.
Opportunity.
And good chance now for Manhasset.
Yeah, Ryan Boyle always says it, that last-second desperation attack swing never works. It's led to no goals and 150 penalties career. Manhasset's one of the best, right, with their sets. Coach McTeague, Coach Cromwell take the power play very seriously.
Palumbo back to Sheeran.
Palumbo's a sophomore, left-hander, getting some more time with Petroselli out.
When you face a goalie like Walsh, you've really got to pick your spot because you might not get a second opportunity, man up.
Yeah, and you might not take some shots that maybe you might pull earlier.
Low shot, Sheeran, saved by Walsh.
Kieran Walsh with the save.
His third. Colin comes away with it, fires it towards the cage, and what a takeaway there.
Yeah, watch this kid run, Jimmy Connolly.
The spin inside the final 30 seconds.
Yeah, D'Agostino was trying to pull it. Future Orange. They got a big game this weekend versus Harvard.
Here's Balsamo. Balsamo!
Balsamo's just so tough. He's so two-handed. He's righty. He's lefty. You don't know. Sometimes he'll pass. Sometimes he'll shoot. This time he unleashes a righty rocket to the corner. Goes through. Kelly gets picked up. Got to talk through that if you're Manhasset. Nice pick.
Leads 4-1.
Looked like a little NBA offense there. A little horn set. Set a high pick. Balsamo goes through it. Cashes in for the Flyers.
He is a Manhasset guy. Another face-off win. Final 8 seconds. Quinn Ball splits him. Ball the shot.
You see the strength of Ball. Not only is he a face-off guy, he's an athlete. Just an absolute workhorse. Shrugs off 2 defenders.
Low shot. Griffith, how about one more for him? 8 first quarter saves for Henry Griffith. but it is John Balsamo with a pair, Gillis and Lynch, one each. And it is Chaminade with a 4-1 lead here after one. You are watching the Regs Rock Lacrosse Day for Heroes right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
At St. Francis Heart Center, we're not just regional heart experts. We share our greater success with the world. We don't just pioneer technology. We do it more than anywhere on Greater Long Island. And we don't just win awards. We deliver greater outcomes for people like you. As New York's only specialty designated cardiac center, we're not satisfied with just being good. This is Long Island. This is St. Francis Heart Center. And greater lives here.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
And back here at Gold Star Stadium, and Soap, how cool is that? You see there the shooting shirts that the teams wore today. That's number 10 for Jimmy Regan. Wore 19 here at Chaminade, but that was his number when he played at Duke.
Just inspirational everywhere he went, right? Casey Carroll followed in the footsteps of Jimmy Regan at Duke. 4 deployments for him after in 2007. Regan, died in service. Jimmy Regan, just an absolute workhorse. Number 1 in every sprint. Top 2 in the Rangers School, inspiring people at Chaminade, Manhasset, and Duke. Right, Casey Carroll came back after 5 years of tours to play again and win 2013-2014 championship at Duke. Regan, Winchester, Casey Carroll, LaCalzi, just built different.
I mentioned Winchester, of course, Ronnie Winchester, and in our conversation with Moran leading up to this game says there's a great picture just in the stands at a game, right? In one of the Chaminade's championship games, it's Regan and Winchester just hanging out.
Yeah, Winchester, that's the name given to the most valuable defender award that they give out, Rockville Center Naval Academy. It's only fitting, right? He was an offensive lineman. He's a protector, and most valuable defender award goes to in his honor.
Balsamo tries to go low, and Griffith makes his 9th save of the game.
Where would this game be without Griffith?
Oh, and there's a flag. This would be a delay of game against the Flyers. And we see this on the next level, too, right? You can't delay the restart, and that's exactly what happened there.
Yeah, Lou D'Agostino, got the check on the sideline, got called for playing the ball out of bounds, then flipped the ball. Just D'Agostino plays with an edge. You see it there.
30-second technical foul for delay of
One of
game.
Moran last time called him the godfather of the defense.
So second man-up opportunity for Manhasset, unable to cash in on the first. This one, though, just for 30 seconds. And it will be Colin to get things started.
Yeah, that Ronnie Winchester award is going to be really tough this year with D'Agostino, Fitzpatrick, Walsh in the cage. Plenty of options.
That's a good problem to have, right?
Yep. Now, if you've been Hassett, you want to work, you want to get a good shot, but if you just value the possessions, you're okay with that. It was a really good man-down unit with a really good goalie.
And we will be even now. Smart play out of Colin, was going to go back to O'Connor and realized the man out of the box there was getting close. That was Mike Meyerhofer.
Yeah, D-mid going to Towson.
Colin gets us to X, harassed, swims around the crease, gets a shot off. Possession stays with Manhasset.
Good hustle by Leader, getting to the end line.
Hold on. I think there was a shot clock question. Manhasset coach is saying there should be a reset. Right now the shot clock says 6. They're going to reset it to 9. So the shot was wide. With a quick look at that opportunity by Colin. Gets around the cage.
Why don't you just signal, ref, when the shot clock should run? So count off the 3 seconds on the field, and then we'll push the shot clock.
All right, so we have everything settled with the shot clock. Leader. Palumbo, he's free. Palumbo goes high. And Walsh again.
Yeah, the sophomore came around. No one on him. Hard to beat Walsh up top.
Connolly quickly to Cutton.
Yeah, Walsh wears the 44. Liam Entenmann.
Ooh, a little backhanded scoop opportunity by Sean Connolly.
Shovel shot through the wickets.
Manhasset's okay with all these trick shots as long as they don't go in.
There's Gillis now.
Sean Connolly was the shooter.
Gillis tries to go goal line extended.
Yeah, switch that matchup. Get Kelly back on him.
Here's Lynch. Swims. Splits dodge. Was hit from behind. That'll be a push with possession. And Chaminade maintains their possession with a fresh shot clock as well.
He's so worried about Lynch pulling the trigger because he's such a dynamic shooter. When he hitches and swims, it really, really makes him difficult to cover.
And Gillis fighting through the screen. That's Chaminade's 20th shot of this first half.
Kelly took out Connolly on the pick. Gillis doesn't need much room to get his shot off.
You mentioned the importance of
Fitzpatrick shutting off Cutting at X.
Of Kelly today. Did a good job against Bauer from Cold Spring Harbor. There's Lynch. The bouncer gets in, his second.
Gavin Lynch with his second tally of the day.
Just his ability to shrug off pressure, right? He has Solora draped all over him. He's okay with the physicality because he uses the leverage for his advantage. Gets his hands free.
Ball at midfield.
Unleashes a wicked bounce shot here.
On the wings from Manhasset.
To the top corner. That kid's different at the midfield.
Older brother Will at Notre Dame. Jude just finished his freshman year at Holy Cross.
Just so two-handed. He can shoot it with both hands.
Ball surrounded by defenders. Gillis, the GB. And a timeout called by Manhasset.
Chaminade takes its first timeout of the first half. 9:08 left in the second.
They said my mic's a little low. Can we?
Yeah, we could work on your mic, no problem. We'll get that going, and we'll get your mic fixed, as I mentioned.
Oh, sorry.
For Chief Graphics. They specialize in custom graphics and signs, helping schools, businesses, and organizations bring their vision to life. Their one-stop shop provides in-house design, fabrication, and installation services. From press box graphics, wraps, mesh field signage, tents and backdrops, dimensional signs and letters, to senior recognition posters and donor recognition displays. Chief Graphics delivers custom solutions that make a statement. I think you can make a clearer statement now.
Can you hear me
there
now?
We go.
Can
there
you hear me?
There's a look at the huddle for Manhasset. And Manhasset will have them again on the Varsity Media Sports Network coming up. What is it, Tuesday, right? Against Southside. That should be a fun one. That was a rematch of last year's Class B championship game under the lights at Ed Walsh Field. Always a great atmosphere at Manhasset.
We need to add another star. I think we're doing Senior Day. Rosalind as well.
All right. And Rosalind as well. And then it's playoff time, right? And in Class B is at a collision course with Garden City. Of course, a week ago at Garden City, the 142nd edition of the Woodstick went to the Trojans. But that happened last regular season, too. And Manhasset got the better of Garden City when they played at Hofstra.
Don't sleep on Calhoun. They gave Manhasset a little bit of a scare. Manhasset had to score 7 of their 8 goals in the second half. Used a little 10-man ride to get them back.
So off the timeout. Possession for the Flyers. Balsamo rings it off the crossbar.
Balsamo hits the crossbar.
They have 5 goals, 3 pipes, 10 saves by Griffith. It's been a shooting gallery for the Flyers.
22nd shot of this first half. 23rd is saved by Griffith, denying Lynch.
Big save, not only the save, but corralling the rebound, giving you a chance to get it out of your end.
And that's exactly what you mentioned earlier, right? He was making these incredible saves, but Chaminade maintained possession, which they do now as well on that ride. Some numbers, and that shot wide of the mark.
A little give and go between Cutton and Sam Fox.
Cutton with the take.
Fox did a great job getting the ball on the ground on the ride.
Fox part of what Moran calls like a smorgasbord of second midfielders for the Chaminade team.
Brother Ben went to North Carolina. Tough loss for them today.
Was the last to wear the 19. Did it last year. Lynch spins. What a look to the crease. And that shot by Finn Pizzo is over the mark.
Pizzo's a sophomore, 8 goals on the season. Smart lacrosse player. You saw him, the ability to get into space.
Gillis, BTB.
Gillis, shooter.
Gets a fresh 60.
And there's Lynch again. Lynch goes low, and Griffith makes another save.
Lynch just kind of shrugs his head back, says, 2 in a row. I tried to beat him low. Got denied.
And conversely, it seems like Manhasset trying to beat Walsh high. 5-1 is the score. O'Connor gets it to Leader.
It's been a while since Manhasset has had a 6-on-6 possession. They've had a couple of man-ups.
Yeah, you mentioned that North Carolina game, losing to Richmond. And you had a pair of Chaminade guys, right? Ben Fox on one side for Carolina, Gavin Creo for Richmond. I think he ended up with 3 goals in that one, including the open net dunk at the end to lead the Spiders to that somewhat of an upset win, that 8-9 game. Takeaway for Chaminade.
Yeah, D'Agostino and Duran.
Louis Dags. Quick look. They want to move it. Great look to the crease and the finish by Cutton. How pretty was that?
Get a double team on one end, leads to a D'Agostino run out. Anytime you get the ball to Cutton, he's going to make the right decision. Just tic-tac-toe. D'Agostino finds Shapiro to Gillis to Cutton.
Cutton with a goal.
Unbelievable goal, flipping the field, offense to defense transition.
So for Cutton, out of St. James, the Hopkins commit, goal number 25. And Gillis picks up his 16th assist of the year. They've not added on the scoreboard yet that goal. But it is 6-1. There it is for the Flyers.
Yeah, no tournament for UPenn, but they're going to be looking to make a run next year. Quinn Ball's really going to help the face-off X when he arrives on campus.
And the reason why he's such the epitome of wearing that 19 for Jimmy Regan is the way that he was awarded that 19. Swimming around the cage, the high finish, Christian Atwell.
Yeah, he's a junior. He's one of those guys who's just earning more and more time. I think that's only his second goal on the year, but an absolute energy guy, fire plug, comes around the goal. Looks like he's done it 1,000 times with that snipe to the top corner. No slide, let it fly.
But back to the point about Ball as we get set for this face-off, is his leadership is in a lot of the things that you and we don't see, right? It's the 6:30 a.m. workouts and making sure everybody is there and he holds everyone accountable and he makes sure that he's held accountable as well.
Yeah, just doing pull-ups with weights attached to him.
Face-off win by Ball.
Just an absolute machine.
And he said, right, when their season lost last year, that was the impetus. You lose to St. Anthony's for the 8th consecutive time. It's time to flip that script, he said to his teammates. And from that moment on, he has led that charge. And they won that regular season game. And in 5 days' time, they're looking to win the championship game as well. That was Cutton, who was trying to cut through the Manhasset defense. They collapsed well on him and caused the turnover.
Yeah, it's Chaminade kind of picks their spots with Gillis, Cutton, Balsamo. They'll put them in the box and they'll sub them to get matchups and quick opportunities. And that time it was Cutton.
There's Griffith, the look to midfield, and a good clearance for Manhasset. And now they'll look to go quick. A little hitch.
That's a shot. That's a sophomore who got robbed by Walsh earlier. If it's a different goalie in there, maybe you test it, but decided to pull it out. That's what a good goalie does. He can intimidate you.
And one of the best scorers around that we've known, Keith Cromwell, the head coach, is like, come on, Phil. Let it go.
That's why you're out there, kid. Oh,
now in transition, the look from Balsamo to Gillis.
Yeah, that's an attack that, came back, all of them. They had 75 goals last year, and they all came back this year. Everyone knew that this offense would be high-powered, playing a really fast brand of lacrosse.
Think about this if you're a defensive coordinator facing Chaminade, right? Balsamo came into this game, or now he has 34. We'll give the live numbers. 34 goals for Balsamo, 25 for Cutton, Gillis with 39, and then Lynch now with 37. Who do you shut off? Who do you try to stop?
And they're all unselfish. They let the game come to them. They don't force it. That's what's amazing about this team.
So timeout is called with 4:05 left here in this first half. It is Chaminade with the 7-1 lead. You see still, right, working on his craft there. Number 19. What an honor that is, and what a legacy, too, among the Flyers who have previously worn that number.
Just such a unique position. He's at Duke, right? Cal Gerard, Coach Cromwell had a dominant face-off guy.
And there you see a look at him. Hey, look, Creo, right, led Richmond today. You saw him wear it before Fox. Balsamo went to Duke, now at Virginia. His brother will join him in a few times. The guy we don't have on this graphic who is important to mention is, in fact, James Ball, because he wore it in that COVID season when they did not play, when maybe there's no better time to have a leader, right? And you see Fowler before him, Sean Cutton. What a great legacy of players who wear the number 19.
Just to wear that jersey, Regan, right? You add 19. I also think about, on a day like this, you think about Wells Crowder, right, with 9/11 and
the red bandana.
Red bandana. It's just, service commitment more than a game, but wearing that jersey must make you feel like Superman.
And you've said it before. I think this sport, better than most, does a great job honoring those type of players.
It's just something about having that championship game on Memorial Day. It's always been a day that's connected to lacrosse.
Here's Colin. Colin was taking himself, and we've got a flag. As it was Brody Shapiro, looks like, who came in late.
Yeah, let's see if they give him more than a minute. That's Danny Colin, Navy commit. Takes one in the neck.
That's high.
Takes a hit.
That has the opportunity or possibility here of getting locked in.
See what Pete Casper has.
1 minute, locked in.
1 minute, non-releasable penalty. Assessed on number 7, Brody Shapiro.
So third man up opportunity for Manhasset. They are 0 for 2 to this point.
If you're Coach Cromwell, you got to divide this game into possessions and stops, right? This is its own match right here. This is a man up. You need one. In a couple of weeks at Hofstra, you're going to need to get a big man up goal. So keep coaching it in segments.
There's Palumbo. Step down shot. Walsh, the save.
Just takes up so much angle. Nothing to really shoot at.
Your car. It needs to be moved immediately. Thank you. A gray Jeep Rubicon.
Sheeran at X.
The license plate.
Feet up top. Swim dodge. Sheer surrounded by Flyers. Somehow gets the shot off.
Good job by Connolly. Good job by Gavin Duran, just a junior from Sands Point. Not committed yet, but he will be. Still man up.
For a few seconds at least. Now we are even. And there's the goal right out of the man up opportunity. It is Connor Sheeran.
Connor Sheeran.
Catch and shoot type.
From Dylan Shear.
One of the guys that Coach Cromwell really looks for in the power play situations. Right as the penalty was released, nice find on the backside. Good low-to-low shot. Beats Walsh. Not an easy thing to do, but Connor Sheeran, productive. 5 goals this year versus Farmingdale. Knows how to get open and can shoot the ball confidently.
31 on the season now for Sheeran.
And William Ball.
Sheer picks up his 4th assist. And Ball, another face-off win. However, it becomes a loose ball. And that's one of the things that happened in that St. Anthony's Chaminade game, right? Where Ball won every face-off. However, St. Anthony's did a great job in manufacturing possessions off of those face-off losses.
I think if you're Coach Cromwell, if you have your choice for sure. If the ball's going to win it, you'd rather have him go backwards with it so that it doesn't spark any transition.
DePietro takes one high, takes a whack. Now it's a loose ball. Great GB. Phil Palumbo. And there's a flag. So you know what? That's what you get, right? That's why he's on the field. Maybe he doesn't take that shot earlier. Makes up for it with a big GB. And now another man-up opportunity for Manhasset.
Yeah, Liam Traynor was out there. He's the 4th defender for Chaminade, swinging the lumber. I think they got...
Right here on the push from behind. So 4th man up. Technically, Manhasset didn't score on their last man up opportunity. It came just after the penalty was released.
Extra man opportunity for Manhasset.
Again, you want a goal, you want a shot, but if you can possess this thing for the last 1:30 of this half, I think you're okay with it. Either score or don't let Chaminade touch the ball again.
Here's Leader. Thought about it. Connolly kind of slid into that spot. Patience here from Manhasset as we approach the final minute of the first half. Step down shot, the bouncer by O'Connor as the penalty was released.
Yeah, you almost wish that grazed the pipe to get a reset if you're Manhasset.
1 minute and a second.
But 28 on the shot clock. Cromie's yelling, go back there with him. Want to run a little two-man action. Try to get Colin free. Fitzpatrick's in his hip pocket.
Tries to do it off of a screen. Colin lowers the shoulder and lowers the boom as well. Count it, and the foul.
We keep talking about number 19 right in white. What about the honor it is to wear the Johnny Driscoll 32 if you're Manhasset? Colin is, he gets into those areas where you're like, no, no, no. Then you're like, yes, yes, yes. He has the knack to score the tough, gritty goal. Going to the Naval Academy, another kid that's going to serve our country. God bless him. God bless that goal. Unbelievable job by Danny Colin.
31st of the season for Danny Colin. Big one there, too.
Cross check to the head.
And this will be a 1 minute locked in cross check against Gerbasi. So the fifth man up, and now it's a man down face-off.
Yeah, Colin wears that 32. Mikey Mondiello wore it last year. Jack Peterson was at Harvard. Hunter Panzik wore it at Air Force.
Ooh, ball took a shot, and that is a foul as well. So now a chance for a little keep away. Balsamo, though, comes downhill. Balsamo goes across.
Physical out there, Dill.
Yeah, man.
We thought this was going to be friendly.
All right, let's see the penalty here, and this could also potentially be something locked in as well. I think it was a shot to the head against Quinn Ball, and that is also locked in. So the first penalty against Manhasset, 1 minute locked in. So they'll play
1 minute.
5-on-5.
Illegal contact to the head, and number 22.
And then Chaminade will eventually be up a man. It would be their first man up of the game.
Foul on Melkonian.
And a timeout for Chaminade. You mentioned the Manhasset number 32. And we'll show you some of those guys. That's a good-looking graphic there you mentioned, right? Mondiello, Peterson, Panzik as well, right now at Air Force.
Yeah, Mulholland at Michigan, Chris Glenn at Georgetown, Logan Hyde at Vassar, Stevie Schneider, right, who won that game the last time that Manhasset beat Chaminade in 2017. What an honor.
Was that the shot that he took when he scored it?
Yeah, big-time goal by him. Big-time player from the midfield for Manhasset.
And there's a look, right, at the latest 32. And there was never a question Danny Colin was wearing that number.
Yeah, and it's like one of those days where you just can't help but reminisce about all the things, the traditions out there. We can't forget about James and Michael Farrell, that number 4 number that's being worn by Doc O'Connor for James, who was a captain at UPenn. Michael Farrell played Villanova Club Lacrosse. Then Ryan Keese, the 44, that's worn by Lachlan Fitzpatrick. Played lacrosse at Scranton. That tragic accident out east. You can't help but love what these programs do, honoring these numbers. But boy, do we wish all these people could be here.
That's the double-edged sword of it, right? Like, you hate that you have to honor them because it means that they've tragically passed, but you love that the community always keeps them alive in terms of knowing who they were and having these Manhasset players remember those guys. And you can't go a step anywhere in Manhasset without seeing that jersey, right? The 4 and the 44. Loose ball here, final 5 seconds, and Manhasset gets the GB. Have a go from midfield, why don't you? And that one was just wide of the mark. We will count it as a shot.
I think we were 5-on-5 there. That's why Chaminade didn't just hold it and go to the cage, and that's why everyone's yelling, hold it, but it's 5-on-5. We'll still have a face-off to start the third.
Again.
Another cool moment here, right? The PAL from Manhasset will step on the field here during halftime. We'll bring you some halftime stats as well. You're watching the 16th annual Regs Rock Lacrosse Day for Heroes right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
KTK.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Pole goal, yes! A man down pole goal as well. Busking of the skip somehow found its way through. BTB and a save.
At the buzzer, we had
The Long Island Lacrosse Showcase is the premier opportunity for the high school players from Long Island to be recognized for their lacrosse skills. For over a decade, this event has been widely recognized as the premier event for exposure before college coaches of all levels. Players showcase their abilities while competing to earn a spot to represent their county in the Long Island Showcase Nassau versus Suffolk Games. Hosted in collaboration with the high school lacrosse coaches of Nassau and Suffolk counties, the Long Island Lacrosse Showcase had over 90 college coaches attend various rounds of the showcase. Make sure to register today.
Two-man game. Nice save up high.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the spring, but spots are limited. Contact us today for lacrosse, baseball, softball, and tennis by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships. For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
He's got room to go. Merrill towards the end zone. Lost his lid. Touchdown!
JJ Damo, face on, stay on athlete. Controlling the face-off X 3 in a row now.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network. Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any team looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
The loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash! What a way to end the third quarter.
Look at this. Merrill. No slide. No problem. Gary Merrill goes top corner.
Varsity Media offers sports coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media.
Back at Gold Star Stadium, and at least right now, based Brian Soper on the way that the fans are talking about, this is the game that they're most excited about. The PAL from Manhasset.
Future Indians out there, crazy talent. We've seen saves. We've seen guys ripping the top corner. Don't let their size fool you. They're absolute killers.
I think Danny Colin is still the size of number 9 there, who just buried that shot. As these are second graders for the Manhasset PAL. Halftime here of the 16th annual Regs Rock Lacrosse Day for Heroes. Soap, a look at some of those first half stats.
7-3 on the scoreboard, 31. That's a lot of shots in a high school lacrosse game. That's what happens when ball's dominating the face-off X, winning 9 out of 11. 12 saves for Griffith. He's keeping Manhasset close. When Walsh has had to, he stepped up and made some good stops. You see 0 for 5 on the man up, the power play. Definitely want to clean that up if you're Manhasset, not just today, but moving forward.
And once again, want to remind folks that Chief Graphics, they specialize in custom graphics and signs, helping schools, businesses, and organizations bring their vision to life with in-house design, fabrication, and installation services, making them a one-stop shop for all graphic needs. From retail signage, wall and floor wraps, vehicle graphics, wayfinding signage, Chief Graphics delivers custom solutions that make an impact. Chief Graphics. And also, as you see, another goal scored by the Manhasset PAL, and Manhasset being a community that we no doubt J&R Custom Landscaping is familiar with. You could design, build, and maintain your dream home. J&R Custom Landscaping has been proudly offering landscape design for over 30 years. Give them a call today, 516-250-8461. J&R Custom Landscaping. We'll take another break, and we'll have the second half. When we return here, it's the Regs Rock Lacrosse Day for Heroes, and it's all live right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people, all people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the spring, but spots are limited. Contact us today for lacrosse, baseball, softball, and tennis by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people, all people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the spring, but spots are limited. Contact us today for lacrosse, baseball, softball, and tennis by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
I'm back here at Gold Star Stadium. Entertaining halftime here as the second graders, right, from the Manhasset PAL taking center stage on this field, and perhaps one day we'll see them in whatever annual Riggs Rock game that'll be, right? Some great skill from these young men.
Bang, top corner. Love the celly.
And there's a look at a guy who was very busy in the first half, Henry Griffith. And I think you made an excellent point, too. He made some great saves early on, but wasn't able to hold on to the ball. Not his fault. Just a barrage of shots that came in, but because he was able to hold on to it, now you can get the ball back for Manhasset, which he did in that second quarter. And, of course, Chaminade, we mentioned it before, Soap. You and I will be at Hofstra's Stewart Stadium. This will be 2 days before the NCAA quarterfinals at Hofstra, where it is St. Anthony's and Chaminade taking each other on, this with a championship on the line. Chaminade broke an 8-game losing streak to their rivals. They did it at Cy Donnelly Field with Kieran Walsh coming up with a save in the final seconds. And St. Anthony's, that was their third consecutive loss. Then they go on and now they got to take on a Lawrenceville team that was number 2 in the country. They beat them. They beat Darien. They've beat all comers since, and Chaminade has been on a roll. So both teams playing their best lacrosse. Should be an outstanding contest at one of the best lacrosse venues in this country.
Nothing like playing at Hofstra. Jimmy Gillis was great in that game, 5 goals. You're right. St. Anthony's gotten a little healthier since then. It's going to be a different story at Hofstra.
There's a look at the huddle and some of the college commits for Manhasset. We mentioned Colin and Solura before. Doc heading to Colby, Griffith, Franklin, and Marshall. Unfortunately, Kip Zachariah, what an impact he would have had if he wasn't injured. One of, 3, right, to suffer season-ending ACL injuries even before the season started. But he'll go on and play his lacrosse at Lehigh, and Keith Lamb will head to Clark.
Yeah, Brian Riley was a transfer they got back from Chaminade. Wesleyan commit, 5'10 lefty. That would look nice in blue right now for Coach Cromie and Gianluca Milazzo as well. 3 guys lost before the season.
So inside that huddle, Keith Cromwell. Listen, his guys battled, right? They were down 5-1. It's now 7-3. They'll start this second half man down. So if they can just kind of manage that situation and listen, they withstood what was a barrage early on, and they've played better throughout this game.
You have to break the game into segments, right? You have, I don't know if it's 2-3 minute segments if you're talking about Coach Cromwell and Manhasset. But I think both coaches were probably at halftime. It got a little chippy there at the end, probably trying to refocus. Let's start over 0-0. Let's not only play clean, let's play fair, and let's get back to business.
We thought we would see this as well. This is a man down face-off, right? Or are we still 5-on-5? I think we're still 5-on-5. And it'll be Lachlan Fitzpatrick facing off against Quinn Ball.
Coach Moran was ready for everything. He's like, I think we might get a triple pole on the face-off. I was actually talking to Coach Cromwell today. I'm like, do you have to put guys on the wing? Can you just put 5 guys in the box? So I'm not quite sure on that ruling.
And Ball goes backwards, kicks it, and now it's a scrum. And Chaminade comes away.
Yeah, Gerbasi, Lehigh commit, tailback on the football team. He's used to toting the rock for the Flyers. Great ground ball off of the ball win.
And here's Balsamo coming out of the box. Gavin Lynch. Now it's Brendan Sim stepping on. Sim thought about it. Back to Balsamo. He will fire it and absolutely shake the net with the force of that shot.
Yeah, if it's not for Griffith and some pipes, Chaminade might have 14 goals on the day, but hey, it's a save in my book.
You see that net just shake?
Almost went on top of the rectory.
And another. That's a clean look, and you can see the reaction there where that was one that Connolly wanted back.
Yeah, he was smelling his 13th goal.
Griffith!
Love it. That's 3 in a row just on Lynch.
Yeah, Lynch tried to go low to high.
Clean save, allows for the outlet and the clear.
Finds Fitzpatrick.
And there is Fitzpatrick. Lachlan Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick, no! Denied at the last second.
Good hustle by Conley to get back in the hole, use his wheels.
Griffith again.
4 in a row.
On the stop again.
Will he get to 8? Will he be Henry VIII? And now Manhasset on the other side. It's become a little bit more wide open right now.
Just great to see with Griffith. He worked hard to get back. He was dealing with a knee issue.
And a former Chaminade guy in Brady Balsh ended up stepping in for him. The two were battling for that number 1 position. Griffith ended up winning it.
Just something that can't happen. It's hard enough to play against Chaminade. You can't have those unforced errors, especially when your goalie's standing on his head right now.
And we go the other way. Brody Shapiro.
Brody Shapiro clears.
Shapiro's really good in the clear game. You see that. Confident with the ball.
Junior from Lido Beach. That's a nice place to be.
I was just there.
On a day like today.
Long Beach Herricks this morning. Senior day for the Marines.
And Griffith again.
Wax on, wax off. Like a windshield wiper right across the top. Top hand, boom. Drive that top hand across. He said no to Gillis. Only one of the hottest shooters on the planet.
Listen, he was locked in. He came in.
Just can't turn it over or give it back to them. Pull it out.
And Walsh out of his cage, which forces a timeout out of Cromwell. But Griffith, what was it, 5-1 after the first quarter. The goalie change gets made, and he was solid from the second quarter on in that Woodstick Classic, and he's continued to be that rock.
That was the old bait, right? He's sitting low. You think you got the top. Boom. Top hand comes over. Didn't know Griffith was a fisherman, but he reeled in Gillis.
We showed you the Manhasset College commits before, and we'll take a look if we have enough time during this timeout. There's a lot of college-bound players for Chaminade. This is just the first slate, Soap.
Backup goalies going to great places like Maritime and Holy Cross. Mavlio's going to Rutgers, backup faceoff guy. Willa Rent, defender. Sloma's another faceoff guy going to play Fairfield.
At Walsh Field at Manhasset.
Richmond, BU, Providence, Hopkins, Wesleyan, not just great lacrosse schools, but great academic schools as well. Durnan, the backup goalie.
And our third slate, right? Bakirs to BU. Of course, we mentioned Walsh to Notre Dame. Battaglia to Sacred Heart.
Ryan Cataldo's a great goalie from Hicksville, going to Merchant Marine. Love to see the service. It's just hard when you got a Notre Dame 6'4" keeper in there. It's hard to find any time for any really good goalies.
So 8:47 left here, quarter number 3. It is Chaminade with a 7-3 lead. It's the 16th annual Riggs Rock Lacrosse Day for Heroes. Usually we see Jimmy's mom and dad here. His dad often gives a pregame speech to everybody on the field. But they have, their grandchild's
First Holy Communion.
First Holy Communion today.
It is communion season. This would be huge. Can Manhasset build off of the Griffith energy? The Manhasset sideline will absolutely explode if they can one here.
Colin, that one is blocked. Ends up kind of being a change-up to Walsh, but a flag is thrown against Chaminade.
They're going to get D'Agostino again.
This will be another 1-minute man up for Manhasset. They were 0 for 5 in the first half. But they are too good of a man-up unit to be denied. Here's another look, Soap, at that foul.
Yeah, just after the whistle, after the ball's released, a little late.
Advantage.
Coach O'Dern is getting a great one, and D'Agostino, he totes that line. As a coach, you're not gonna say no to it, because in order to play this game, you got to be nasty.
And O'Dern is another one, right? Long Island guy, Cold Spring Harbor.
Yeah,
coached at Manhattan, excuse me.
Yeah, he played and coached with an edge as well.
Now he's the DC up at Syracuse.
Trying to figure out how to stop the Crimson. Jerry Byrne, Chaminade alum.
There's Doc. It's another 1-minute man up for Manhasset.
Yeah, Chaminade just out pressing. Kind of takes you out of your play. It just becomes stretch them out, survival, try to find the open man right there.
And then Walsh makes the save.
Great save down low. Found leader.
Save by Walsh. Shot by leader.
And that's part of the problem, right, when you take on Chaminade on that side of the ball, where your passes have to be precise. And then when you do everything right, you got to deal with a brick wall in Walsh.
Yeah, Chaminade, it's a goalie factory. Entenmann, Zeph, Zulo.
Yeah, we'll show that graphic.
Brendan Krebs really didn't even play, and he's one of the best goalies in the world playing in the PLL. Just an embarrassment of riches in between the pipes for Chaminade year in and year out.
And here's Gillis, plays a two-man game. A little hitch, lefty shot. Griffith, another save. This time denying Fox.
His body's like a magnet right now, just attracting the lacrosse ball.
I thought you were about to quote John Mayer. That his body's like a wonderland.
That too.
Look at this at midfield. Danny Colin. Colin still with the ball.
Manhasset's offside.
And Manhasset called offside. But you love when your star guy gets down and gritty and dirty and goes after those GBs. We're going quick the other way, and no stopping Gillis from there. His second.
Just a quick restart off of the offsides. You know, Gillis is going to Duke. Bit of a pipeline, you know, in the cage to Notre Dame. Cutting again. Just which way is he going to go? Right or left? Looks him off. Goes left. Gillis buries it. Talk about Duke to Chaminade. Fowler's time 4. Brendan, Vincent, Jack, Danny, who's a Navy SEAL, Sean Cerrone, Andrew Bonafide, Matt Camille, Greg Rhodes, Jimmy O'Neill, Tommy Zenker, Brian Dunn, Blake Bocek. I mean, Frank Mariello.
And that's the funny thing, too, because in recent years, you felt like it was more, and you love that the St. Anthony-Chaminade rivalry kind of continued collegiately, because in recent years with the Kavanaughs and Entenmann and Zeff, like you mentioned, it became almost like Chaminade to Notre Dame, St. Anthony's to Duke. Let's battle it out in the ACC.
Yeah, you see Gillis now playing midfield. You see what he can do, not just an attackman. Good stick by Solora. He's had a really good bounce-back game for him. You know, sometimes as coaches, you got to push certain guys' buttons. I think Coach Cromwell, Coach Armstrong, Fallon, McTeague, they pushed Solora's button this week. Great to see him rise to the occasion in a big one.
So now Gillis. Whew. Some heat on that shot by Christian Atwell. Atwell is a guy who was on the defensive side of things, a short stick D midi, as Gillis ducks under a check, fires it wide.
Gillis is not just a shooter. He's a physical dodger, can score with both hands, not afraid to get to those tough areas. Duke's got a big game tonight, 7:30 against the Hoyas.
And this is the best time of year, man. We get late regular season, these big matchups, these meaningful games like Riggs Rock. Then he had the second round of the NCAA tournament. All different times of those games. You can watch them all if you want. Of course, we're happy you're with us now as Cutton fed the crease. No backup.
Great defensive stand by Manhasset. They were shutting off Balsamo there, playing physical, getting after it.
And the fans, too, here, right, have come out and force for a great event and a...
Lost that in the sun.
And also an opportunity to donate to the Army Ranger Lead the Way Fund. What a special, meaningful fund that is. As there's Connolly now. 8-3 the lead for Chaminade. Connolly gets downhill, low shot wide.
I think that's the thing that makes Regan so special is that like he didn't have to do it. You graduate from Duke,
like he had a comfortable job, right? He was downtown and it was a calling because of the terrorist attacks on September 11th. And he decided, listen, I got to do something, right? So many people from his community died on that day, and he was called into action.
It's amazing.
Now in a triptych, let's stick D midi for Manhasset, number 29, Angel LaMarca.
They're going to reset, I think, the shot clock.
I don't think 8 seconds is going to matter with how fast Chaminade plays. You can set that clock to maybe 21.
From X.
Double deuces matching up here.
22 Melkonian for Manhasset. Feed to the crease, a bouncer, and getting in the way was Salura.
Having a great game, Salura. See that range. You know, it's been a little bit with him, that the confidence with his stick, scooping up ground balls. That's great to see if you're Manhasset.
Yeah, I was going to say, a year ago, he was just like that brute physical guy, right? And now he's brought a little bit of that finesse to his game.
I think that's an everyday improvement for him. Working hard in practice. Little tough love at times. Great dig check by Gerbasi. Got numbers.
The skip, the shot. Walsh, the low save on leader.
Makes it look so easy.
O'Connor with a huge hit, but flags are thrown.
Yeah, great save by Walsh. Made it look easy. Kind of left his boy D'Agostino out to dry with the outlet. It happens.
And Cromwell and his coaching staff disapproving of this call. We take another look here.
Yeah, what a great save by Walsh. He makes this look so easy. I promise you it's not. Right, to get off the turf, get low, lobs an outlet.
And they're saying it's a 1 minute cross check.
For cross checking. O'Connor number 4.
And this is the foul now, so that was the tail end of it.
Yeah, I saw the refs, Pro Wally and Casper in the parking lot. I said I would not say anything about any calls. I gave them my oath.
Did they save you a spot? Is that why? Was that a...
It's just a different game with the physicality. It's just the way it is.
Lynch. He can sting it, man. That shot of his... There's a radar gun somewhere here at Gold Star Stadium. I might be registering in like the mid to high 90s.
Yeah, both hands. I like Sim. I like Sim's game. Real smart player. Kind of created that shot for Lynch with his eyes and his slickness.
Lynch, when I last saw Chaminade, you saw them against Del Barton, but was limited.
Yeah, hamstring.
Physically. But great to see him back. There's that shovel opportunity again by Lynch.
You know, like midfielders aren't, to score 40 goals, 36, he'll score over 40 this year from the midfield. That's special. You're used to seeing those types of totals from attackmen.
Oh, Lynch.
Right on cue. It's just, they went zone, I believe. Lynch is sitting around the foul line, finds the high seam, and it's just not going to end well for any goalie. Little jump shot to the corner.
And then a point to the Manhasset bench. Some chirping as well by Lynch.
Got a wicked jump shot.
His third of this game for the Notre Dame commit.
I love what Coach Moran just said. He's a pure offensive talent. Sums him up perfectly.
Face-off win.
Another face-off win for Ball.
You're looking at Notre Dame, right? You got talent at the midfield, some young guys, Jeffrey. Put Lynch in that mix. See if Chaminade maybe starts to mix in some other players going into the fourth quarter. Obviously the big game on the calendar with St. Anthony's coming up.
Griffith, another save for him. This against Cutton.
Yeah, Cutton was like, everyone else is trying. Let me try to beat him up top.
The Flyers, Soap, after that big win over Del Barton a week ago. Get to that in a second, off the bar.
Blank save by Griffith again.
Griffith's got a piece.
I think Kelly just kind of ran out of bounds, gave a quick restart again to Chaminade. Thought for sure Cut was going to have an easy dunk.
But after that big win over Del Barton, Chaminade skyrockets up the national rankings. They come into this one number 4 in the country by USA Lacrosse Magazine. Here's Balsamo, final 20 seconds.
Yeah, Chaminade's really good. We had a chance to see Spalding. I don't know how we could make that happen. I would love to see a Spalding Chaminade matchup, but just elite talent.
And another goal for the Flyers.
Sean Connolly, BU, short stick D mid. He's been playing a lot more offense lately. Head up. Somehow Balsamo's left unchecked. The future Cav says, okay, I'll can it.
So his third, he joins Lynch with the hat trick. And then they've got Gillis with 2, Cutting with 1. So all 4 of those top guys.
Usual suspects.
Yeah, finding the back and then Ball wins the faceoffs. Walsh makes the saves. This is why they're one of the best teams in the country. Balsamo's final or last second shot there blocked. But through 3 quarters, it is all about the Flyers of Chaminade. A 10-3 lead. It's the 16th annual Regs Rock Lacrosse Day for Heroes. And it's all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people. All people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
I'm back at Gold Star Stadium. Dylan Butler, Brian Soper, our entire Varsity Media crew. 3 quarters in the books here, and it is Chaminade with a 10-3 lead. Soap, we mentioned some guys, right? It's NCAA tournament time. Hey, Gavin Creo had himself a day today, leading the way for Richmond in that win over North Carolina.
Yeah, Christian Alacqua, great player at Notre Dame. Brother played at Army. Gavin Creo, the Spiders marching on. No one wants to play the Richmond Spiders. They're just nasty. Will Lynch, all-time ground ball leader at Notre Dame, national champion 2 times. Charles Balsamo at Virginia now, went to Duke. Virginia, the Balsamos will meet each other. And Flaherty serving our country at Navy. Next level from Chaminade. Just a ridiculous list.
And Ball doing what he's done through 3 quarters, wins another face-off.
Yeah, we had the food review for Rockville Center. I'm going to try to get them a sandwich named after Creo in Rockville Center.
Yeah, but what would be on it, though?
I don't know. We got to ask them. It'll be rich in flavor. 19 different toppings. I don't know. We can figure something out.
It'll have a bite. Maybe some spiciness to it.
Yeah, Kinfolk hooked us up at the Woodstick.
Yeah, breakfast and lunch. You talk about the connection with Chaminade and Rockville Center, man. How many of these guys, right, know Kinfolk well? Another save for Griffith.
Griffith again.
That's the evolution of Gillis' game. More confident going to his right hand. And just remember, he's only a junior, him and Balsamo. They're back again next year.
Freddie Smith with the clear from Manhasset.
I think that's unofficially Griffith's 112th save of the game. There's Doc.
And none of them easy.
No.
Come on, beat somebody.
Here's Ledbetter. That's a good look. Low shot, though, and those have to be on frame.
Yeah, Dylan Shear had way more time than he thought. Could have really turned around and stepped into one. Maybe even put it into his right hand to try to bury that one. Similar spot where Gavin Lynch canned his.
And we mentioned it in the open. Manhasset loses this game last year at home, but it kind of set themselves up postseason-wise, right? Where they go on, they beat Garden City in the semifinals before a tight loss to the eventual state champions in Southside.
Look at this matchup. Navy gone Cuse.
Colin still with it. And then D'Agostino's boys came in and a shot clock violation against Manhasset.
A shot clock violation.
And there goes the punt return clear by Connolly.
Yeah, that's the difficult thing with Colin. He's done a good job all year, kind of being the guy, the facilitator. He's obviously the best dodger they have. And sometimes you got to, balance that line between too little and too much.
Finn Pizzo, 3 sophomores, part of the second midfield line. Pizzo, Sim, and Fox, they've all gotten a good amount of time today. All really talented players.
Real slick, high IQ. All these kids play high-level club lacrosse.
Lynch switches hands. It's almost not fair.
He embraces contact, runs through it, gets his hands free. His 4th of the game. Just loves contact, right? Gives a little hezzy, goes left-handed, gets it back to his right hand. Again, you're right. He almost nonchalantly scores, and it's like, I've done this a million times. It's no biggie.
Well, officially, it's now the 39th time that he's done it this year. Face-off win for Dillmeyer.
Face-off win by Bo Dillmeyer from Manhasset.
We will see Manhasset again come Tuesday, and we'll see how they respond against a Southside team that I think maybe have surprised a lot of people, where the Cyclones, they graduate so many key components off that state championship team, and yet here they go again, right? They beat Wantagh, they beat Syosset. They've had this stretch of games.
Kind of been like the Knicks, right? They drop down big, and then they make a miraculous comeback. That's what winning does.
Good save by Walsh.
Yeah, easy for him.
We'll have Manhasset and Southside coming up. It's technically a rematch of last year's county final, but they will not play again in this year. Southside in the C. Nice tic-tac-toe there from Chaminade. And the finish in front by 15, Will Ferraro-Reich.
Yeah, he's another one going to Richmond from Rockville Center. You see Fitzpatrick kind of starts this, throws a skip pass down low. Great cut with his left hand by Ferraro-Reich. Right, that was Lynch with an assist.
So 4-2 from Gavin, and that was Rockville Center to Rockville Center. And that's the other part of it, too, that makes me so impressed with the runs that Southside have made, because so many of the top talented players are here at Chaminade. And it just shows you how diverse and how good that feeder program is at Rockville Center.
So important that year for Southside, and both in football and lacrosse. They had so many seniors on that team. A legacy like that, it lives on for a long time, and you're seeing it this year.
Yeah, they'll again be a force to be reckoned with. They're in Class C this year, and a lot of people thought they're on this collision course.
Sam Fox is the ball carrier for Chaminade.
With Wantagh, the reigning Class C champions. As we said, Southside, a huge rally to beat Wantagh in overtime to take round 1.
Great look.
Oh, and the low finish. Changing planes. Balsamo. He gets his 4th.
Yeah, Gillis, Lynbrook kid, finds a great back cut by Balsamo. I mean, this is just chemistry. This is playing together in club lacrosse as well as their time here at Chaminade. That's what makes me down the street in Garden City. Great one. Justin Gutterding went to Duke. I see a lot of his game, Gillis and Gutterding.
Timeout here, 7:24 left. We showed you some of those next level guys for Chaminade. Let's take a look at some of those dudes playing next level for Manhasset.
Yeah, Cal Gerard, is getting spot duty, right? Not taking every draw for Duke, but won some big ones. Joey Terenzi, as dynamic a high school lacrosse player we saw at Nassau County in the last 10 years. Aiden Mulholland, absolute beast, right, for Michigan. Jack Mulholland was an All-American last year. Dartmouth's kind of that Ivy upstart team. Rowan Collins, Lehigh, just one of those glue guys that maybe you don't miss as much until he's gone, and then you're like, wow, Collins was really, really special. And Zachariah at some point will join him at Lehigh.
You've had some great. Again, that's a graphic. We could only show 5, right? We could have continued on. You've got great defensive midfielder, short stick D-middies.
Yeah, you got Arnold at Amherst, Mondiello, MIT, Luca Petroselli's at Amherst, Matty M stopping balls at Tampa.
And you see some of the history there of Manhasset, the 22 county championships, the 16 LICs, the 69 All-Americans.
Yeah, one American right in front of us here, John Kazalakis, goalie, UMass. Great tradition.
You mentioned Jack Mulholland, an All-American, Cal Gerard, a 2-time All-American, Terenzi, a 2-time, Eddie Arnold, a 2-time All-American as well, Tyler Dunn before him, Bobby Duvnak as well, right? 3-time All-American.
James Lapina, BU, D-mid.
Face-off control by Sean Connolly.
And there's Connolly off.
What about the Connor brothers? Colgate lighting up the scoreboard, took down Army single-handedly. Why Army's not in the tournament?
Yep.
Because of the boys from Manhasset.
What a game that was, a week ago tomorrow in the Patriot League final.
Now they got Penn State. Can they knock them off?
You mentioned Steve Schneider and the goal that he scored in 2017. Last win for Manhasset. And this series has tilted in Chaminade's favor since then.
Yeah, and a lot of them, have been pretty lopsided in Chaminade's favor. Even the year when they went, was it 2023? Chaminade beat them 10-9. That was the state championship team, 20-1 for Manhasset.
Yeah. And last year was a weird one, too, because it came for Chaminade after the loss for St. Anthony. So it ended up being their last last game of their season.
I have to go back and watch 2011. I don't believe 3-2. Is that really the score?
That was the score, and it was clearly pre-shot clock era. And none of these snipers for Chaminade were on the field.
3-2. What a sack fly won it in the ninth.
They moved the runner over a few times. Oh, nice swim dodge.
Great pickoff. D'Agostino.
Louis Daggs checks options. That's a good one to find to his right. And the finish.
So he's got 5 goals against St. A's, goes 6 versus Del Barton.
His third goal. D'Agostino with his first assist.
Third goal for Gillis.
And Louis Daggs, his first assist. So now your numbers, right, for your top 4. How about Balsamo with 4, Cutton with 1 and 1, Gillis with 3 and 2, Lynch with 4 and 2. That's what, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of Chaminade's 14 goals. Now a change at the face-off X. And George Mavlios, who, by the way, is a Rutgers commit.
Yeah, junior going to Rutgers. Coach Brecht loves him.
So it would appear that Balls Day is done.
Luke Hunsberger, number 20 out there. Huntington kid. 43. Luke Dirks, Lloyd Harbor.
Manhasset was on the face-off win.
Who's at 9? Caleb DeRoca.
I believe it was.
Lefty shooter, senior, going to Holy Cross from Westbury.
And now we're getting deep in our rosters. Another look at that goal.
Little two-man game, comes through it, DeRoca. Nice move.
I like the Selly as well. And Griffith, his day is done as well. Gets a huge ovation, rightfully so,
yeah,
from
Brady,
the Manhasset
Brady
faithful.
Balsh in there now, was a Chaminade kid. I think we have...
win by Bo Dillmeyer.
I think it's John Durnan in the cage. Jack Durnan, Holy Cross as well. Senior. Durnan family knows a bit about Chaminade.
Yeah, for sure.
Another Duke guy, TJ Durnan. Trying to think of all the Duke guys today.
Chaminade number 33, John Durnan.
Palumbo. And now with this group on the field, he feels like he's like the grizzled veteran.
But how about Matt Pearls out there? Junior defenseman committed to Providence from Green Lawn.
Brady Smith swims to his left.
Good cut.
And there's the finish by Smith. The sophomore.
Great cut by Brady Smith. Just a lot of energy, cuts with a purpose.
That's a goal.
Good job, little
number 42,
way to move
Smith,
the rock.
From Phil Palumbo.
Phil Palumbo, the sophomore. Nice time cut. Feed was on the money.
So running time here, 15-4 is the lead. Dillmeyer.
Dillmeyer controls from Manhasset.
And it's funny, there's been such domination at that spot, right, over the years. No one is clearly going to feel bad for Keith Cromwell these last couple of years.
I laugh when he's like, oh, he's crying. I'm like, no one was crying when Gerard won everything.
Joe Pietro is the ball carrier.
Joe Layden out there at D-Midi for Chaminade. Liam Trainer, junior from Huntington.
Here comes Smith again, trying to go downhill, off the bar.
Smith, shooter.
Luke Duran, a senior from Locust Valley, out there on D as well.
Zublionis pick up the GB.
Looking to invert here.
Nice move.
Good save by Durnan. Stood tall on the pipe. Good sized kid, 6'1".
And Fitzpatrick will come out as well for Manhasset as Chris McGowan on the other side steps on. Zublionis with the shot. So I pride myself on the work that I do, the homework, to get to know all these players. And I got to admit here in the final 2 minutes, I'm just going off the roster.
Doing good. That pronunciation is tremendous.
I haven't gotten the parent complaint yet about that one, as Palumbo denied by Durnan.
Yeah, you saw Palumbo out there. You know, he's a sophomore. Going to keep growing. Nice hard shot to the top. More of a man-up guy. Coach Cromwell had his way with it. Having to step into the 6-on-6 role. Going to have growing pains, but this is a great experience for him.
Zublionis from X. Luke DePietro. He was hung up there by Matt Pearl. Final 40 seconds of this, the 16th annual Riggs Rock Lacrosse Day for Heroes. And of course, on this day, we remember the life of Jimmy Regan.
John DiMaggio on attack for Chaminade.
Regan.
Peter Hortzman as well, SUNY Maritime senior from Lindenhurst.
Palumbo tries to duck under.
Good double by Shapiro.
And that'll do it in this one, the 16th annual Riggs Rock Lacrosse Day for Heroes. It goes to Chaminade as they win this one 15-4. They improve to 11-5 all time. And now both of these programs, after an awards presentation, which we'll show you here, they'll both move on now to bigger games, right?
10 in a row for Chaminade now. Boy, would they love to make it 11 in a row to finish out this season. They've had a great run, filled with some trips to Homewood, trips to Notre Dame, just a bonding group. They would love to beat St. Anthony's this year in the final.
And that's their next game. We'll also have that game for you on May 15th from Stewart Stadium at Hofstra University. What a game that will be, as Chaminade and St. Anthony's round one was epic. And round two on that stage with a trophy on the line will surely be incredible. We'll also have Manhasset's next two regular season games, as Tuesday night they'll look to bounce back against Southside, and then Roslyn Senior Day to round out the regular season. And these Manhasset guys will then chase a 23rd Nassau County title.
Got to be really happy with Griffith's performance today. You see 15 goals on it. You think maybe, goal attending wasn't great. Griffith was tremendous today, and I think that they're going to need him if they want to make a deep run into the Nassau County Class B playoffs. If you're Chaminade, you come out of this healthy. You had a good showing. You represented the legacy of Regan, but you're healthy. You have some time to prepare and put any finishing touches on a scout and get ready for the Friars.
I don't mean to correct your math, but I think it's their 12th consecutive win.
Whoa! All right,
going for 13. They started the season 1-1. They beat McDonough, and then they lost to Loyola Blakefield. That was back on March 16th, and it's been nothing but wins ever since for the Flyers.
It's a long winning streak. They're playing some really great lacrosse.
And I believe, like in previous years, we'll have both teams go out to midfield, and there will be a presentation. At least that was the case in previous years, so we'll hang on here. Of course, it was Mr. Regan who stood right between the two, both sides. What was always great, too, is both sides joined together in a picture after a hard-fought battle on the field. And we anticipate that to be the fact again. And as we mentioned, Chaminade getting the job done here. What is it now? The 6th consecutive time, right? Beating Manhasset. As they're now 11-5 5 all-time in this terrific annual event. You know, we speak about it a lot, Soap, you and I, and both of us, we are fortunate here on the Varsity Media Sports Network to be able to bring so many of these meaningful games to the public, whether it's the wood stick, whether it's, you know, these great games between Chaminade and St. Anthony's, but this is another one of those games that every year you mark it down. You've got to watch it just because of what is behind this game.
And it's always that reminder about how what's important in life. You know, some of the things, these bonding, the team aspect. What a great game lacrosse is. How it teaches you so many life lessons. How you can be inspired by the guys who played before you. How to honor the legacy. You know, and you're playing for legendary coaches, right? Coach Cromwell is as good of a lacrosse player that's played in Nassau County, you know, for a long time, professional. And the legacy of the Moran family, you know, Uncle Richie, his son Ryan coaches at UMBC. He played for, you know, Emmer and Speckman and Garber. I mean, these are guys, iconic names.
And both these teams will break their final huddles. And I don't think we will actually have the ceremony, but again, this is who this whole day is about, right? Sergeant James J. Regan, a Manhasset resident who played at Chaminade and went on to Duke, and then eventually, of course, gave the ultimate sacrifice.
There's a great Long Island Metro Lacrosse. They're one of our sponsors. They do a great thing at SUNY Farmingdale. They have a Regs Rock there that honors, you know, Jimmy Regan as well as other 9/11 things. It's just a reminder, day in and day out. Be nice to people. Leave a legacy. You know, do things that people want to emulate. You know, it doesn't have to be, you know, an Army Ranger, but that's pretty sick, right? Army Ranger, just unbelievable. Regan family should be so proud, and God bless the granddaughter on the Holy Communion today. But I know for a fact I'm wearing my Lead the Way hat. Every time I put it on, I think about Jimmy Regan, and I usually on the sideline will try to coach my heart out in honor of him.
Amen, brother. So that'll do it here from Gold Star Stadium here at Chaminade. Again, your final score. The Flyers beat Manhasset 15-4 in the 16th edition of the Regs Rock Lacrosse Day for Heroes. I want to thank our entire Varsity Media crew, our executive producer, Ben Turchin, our technical director extraordinaire, Nick Costi, Jeff Damo, Joe Foster, bringing you all those great moving images from my broadcast partner, Brian Soper. Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us from Mineola. And we look forward to seeing you next time right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.